I want to talk to you today about how we give feedback. Now, this is often pretty challenging because it seems like it's a more personal conversation where we're trying to increase performance in the person that we're talking to. So it's important that we think about the impact of how we give feedback. And I think a useful lens to reflect on before we give feedback is starting to think about how we feel when we've been given some challenging feedback. And that helps us be a little bit more empathetic in the way in which we're connecting with this person and providing information back to them. A useful tool, though, in thinking about how we give feedback is thinking about the difference between 2-point communication and 3-point communication. So let's talk about 2-point communication. That's when it's just you and me and we're talking and there's only 2 points of reference, which is you and it's me. And 2-point communication is really powerful when we're giving positive feedback and encouragement. So if I'm really happy about your performance, I don't want to be referring to anything else. I want to have good eye contact with you and say, I love the way that you do this. What you've done in the last week or in the last month is just fantastic. I'm really inspired by the way you've done A, B, and C, and we've had great feedback from customers as well. Brilliant, keep it up, I love it. So when we do that with eye contact, we actually add power to that connection. And the person receiving is in no doubt about how authentic and genuine I am in giving that feedback, and they walk away from that meeting feeling fantastic. But if I was to use 2-point communication when I'm giving some negative feedback, at times it can be just too powerful. If I'm eyeballing you and I'm saying, we've had some feedback from that customer last week. They're really unhappy with the way in which you spoke to them, in the way in which you walked around the premises, whatever that feedback is. If I'm giving some hard feedback and I'm doing eye contact, yeah, it's still powerful, but maybe too powerful for what I'm trying to achieve. And it becomes too intimidating for the person I'm talking to. And at times, depending on my personality, it can even feel a bit too intimidating for me. So I want to try to soften that to some extent. And I can soften it by doing 3-point communication. So 2-point is just you and me eyeballing, fantastic, that's great work. When I want to introduce something a bit more challenging, I don't want to make it about them. I want to make it about the situation and the problem. So it might be some performance numbers. So instead of just you and me, we bring in a 3rd point of communication, which is the data, which is the information that I'm acting upon. And it's the information we're talking about. And so you and I are involved in a conversation about fixing this problem. You're no longer the problem. Here's the problem. How are you and I going to fix this? So it's a lot less intimidating and a lot more collaborative. But the output is we're still going to get change at the end of the day, and they're going to be a lot more engaged in the process because we've brought them in and made them part of the solution rather than making them the problem. So think about 2-point communication and 3-point communication the next time you're wanting to give feedback to someone.